Welcome back into another episode of Bucko Booth, everybody. My name is Benson Fector, and I'll be the host of your show today. Just want to take a quick minute and apologize for not having an episode last week. I was on a little vacation in Florida, but that was the last week that we will be missing for the foreseeable future. So you can count on Bucko Booth every Saturday. We'll keep you updated as to the times on our Instagram account at Bucks Dugout. But however you're listening, live, archived, we certainly do appreciate it no matter where you may be listening from. I know it's tough being a Pirates fan right now, but we will get through this season and any long seasons we have in the future together right here on Bucko Booth. So let's do a weekly recap, and it was a week of losing, that is for sure. No wins this week. Starting off on Saturday, the Pirates lost Game 2 of their series to the Mets by a score of 7-5, and in the series finale, the season finale with the Mets, they got blown out by a score of 13-2. The Brewers would come to town for a week set. Former Pirates starter Jordan Lyles would start on Monday against the Pirates. Dario Agrizal, who took Lyles' spot in the rotation, started for the Pirates, but they would end up losing that game by a score of 9-7. On Tuesday, close game in Game 2, Pirates would drop that one by the score of 4-3. And in the series finale against the Milwaukee Brewers, the Brewers got to Trevor Williams, beat him up pretty bad, winning by a score of 8-3. And last night, the Pirates went out to St. Louis, had an off day on Thursday, went out to St. Louis for the weekend. They lost the opener by a score of 6-2, finishing the week with a record of 0-6. And it has not been pretty for the Pittsburgh Pirates as of late. Let's get into the weekly transactions to see what went down this week. On Saturday, the Pirates claimed right-handed pitcher Yaxel Rios off waivers from the Philadelphia Phillies, recalled Parker Markell from the Indianapolis Indians, placed right-handed pitcher Richard Rodriguez on the paternity list, and Kenny Kella dropped his suspension. He is currently serving his 10-game suspension from the incident that occurred in Cincinnati. On Sunday, the Pirates released third baseman Jung-Ho Kang. Monday, the Pirates sent right-handed pitcher Clay Holmes on a rehab assignment to the AA Altoona Curve. And on Tuesday, the Pirates activated left-handed pitcher Stephen Brault from the 10-day injury list, activated right-handed pitcher Richard Rodriguez from the paternity list, optioned right-handed pitcher Dario Agrizal to Indy, and right-handed pitcher Jeffrey Ramirez to Indy as well. Let's get into our weekly awards. Player of the week goes to Starling Marte, a .320 average, 8 for 25, a home run and 5 RBIs. He has been one of 3 players that have actually cared to show up these past 26 games in the second half, and he has showed up in a big way. We're going to get into him in just a minute here, but Starling Marte is really starting to develop into the player that Pirates fans dreamed and aspired him to be. Now, if that's going to matter in the future with him being on our next World Series team, that remains to be seen. We're going to discuss that here in a minute. But overall, he's really starting to turn himself into the power hitter that Pirates fans really dreamed of him becoming. He has put this offense on his shoulders, and it hasn't resulted necessarily in the winning, but very, very good personal performance. And he has been one of the best players in all of baseball, really, in the second half, and his fantastic second half continued this past week. Good stuff from star center fielder Starling Marte. He's at 18 stolen bases right now. He hit his 20 home run mark, so we should be seeing another 20-20 season from him, potentially 30-30 if he keeps up his pace. Pitcher of the week goes to Felipe Vasquez. He pitched an inning in 1 game, struck out the side. He was fantastic. That was Wednesday night against the Milwaukee Brewers. He hadn't pitched in a long time and really hasn't had many opportunities to pitch, given the fact that the Pirates have really all but collapsed here in the second half. But he is still in Pittsburgh, and we still do enjoy watching Felipe Vasquez pitch. He is the most electric pitcher in all of baseball, the best closer in all of baseball, and it's a shame that he's on a bad team for 2019, but he is a joy and an excitement to watch. He was hitting 102, 101 with ease on Wednesday night, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he hasn't pitched. But fantastic week, and yes, he still is in Pittsburgh, and we still do enjoy watching the nightmare Felipe Vasquez go out there and pump over 100 with ease. Rookie of the week goes to Brian Reynolds, a .417 average. He was 10 for 24, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, currently in the batting National League batting race, Brian Reynolds sits in third place. He is 5 points behind Jeff McNeil and Christian Yelich, who sit at a .336 average. Brian Reynolds is at .331. And really, this is what's going to matter for the rest of the season. Right? If you're a Pirates fan, you're saying, okay, what am I going to watch the rest of the season for? A lot of that has to be Brian Reynolds and the batting race. He is 5 points out from Jeff McNeil and Christian Yelich. He is going to win the batting title. And to be quite honest, I'm sick of MLB pundits and really MLB fans in general saying that Pete Alonso, Fernando Tatis Jr., Mike Soroka, Chris Paddock should all win Rookie of the Year over Brian Reynolds. If Brian Reynolds wins the batting title, which he will, he is going to be the undoubted National League's Rookie of the Year. No NL rookie has ever won the batting title, and the only two guys that have done it, one was Ichiro, who had already been a superstar in Japan, and the other was a Minnesota Twin, I believe, in the 60s. Brian Reynolds will win Rookie of the Year in 2019. Glove of the Week goes to Kevin Newman. 20 total chances, 17 assists, 3 putouts, 2 double plays. No errors, and Kevin Newman has unquestionably become one of the better defenders at the shortstop position in all of baseball. And if we're just going by fielding percentage, he could very well see himself winning a Gold Glove at the shortstop position in 2019. And he is another reason to continue watching this Pittsburgh Pirates team throughout the course of this season. Him and Brian Reynolds both. Yes, Kevin Newman's bat has slowed down a little bit as of late, but he is still hitting over 300, still a very extended shortstop, and he is the unquestioned shortstop of the future for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. So again, if you're going to look for anything to watch for the remainder of 2019, the two big guys that I would keep tuning in for are Brian Reynolds, 5 points back of the batting title, and Kevin Newman. The Pittsburgh Pirates are likely to have quite the roster makeover this upcoming offseason. The team could sell high on an outfielder. Things are bad for the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. However, this was not always the case this season. Pittsburgh Pirates fans feel like it was just yesterday that the team was 2.5 games out of the National League Central lead going into the All-Star break. Even with the team being in the hunt, rumors started that the team would look to make some trades, including a potential Felipe Vasquez blockbuster deal. The Pittsburgh Pirates came out of the break flat and quickly fell out of the playoff race. At one point on July 31st, it seemed like a sure thing that Vasquez would be dealt. It didn't happen. The Bucks didn't get an offer that they deemed fair, and now they'll enter into the offseason with him. The fact that the team was willing to move Vasquez for the right return likely means they would be willing to trade other controllable assets as well. One player who makes a lot of sense is outfielder Starling Marte. Marte is entering his last year of guaranteed control as the Pittsburgh Pirates have club options on him over the next 2 years. In 2020, his options is worth $11.5 million, and in 2021, he will get $12.5 million. For the production and player, Marte is a great value at those rates. If the Pittsburgh Pirates were willing to trade their other highly valuable asset in Felipe Vasquez, who was all the more valuable because of his cheap contract, then Starling Marte likely will be on the block as well. The Bucks know that in 2 years, Marte will walk away in free agency and get a big money deal from another team. A very comparable player to Marte is Lorenzo Cain, an elite defensive player with speed and some pop in the offensive profile, and who has accumulated a similar WAR total. Cain signed a contract worth $80 million over 5 years. If Marte can get anything close to that, he will not be a Pittsburgh Pirate after 2021. So why not sell high now on him? Marte is helping his case of being an attractive trade chip, as there's not been many better hitting outfielders in the majors since the break. Marte has hit above 298 every month this year except April. He also has 20 home runs, tying his career high, and he is on pace for his second consecutive 2020 season. The other factor in this is the market could be quite robust for the Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder. The upcoming class of center fielder free agents is one of the more underwhelming classes in a while. Here's a list of center fielders who will be free agents this offseason, courtesy of MLB Trade Rumors. Peter Bourjos, age 33, Gerard Dyson, age 35, Billy Hamilton, age 29. However, he does have a $7.5 million mutual option with a $1 million buyout. Austin Jackson, age 33. John Jay, age 35. Adam Jones, age 34. Juan Lagares, age 31. However, he does have a $9.5 million club option with a $500,000 buyout. Starling Marte, age 31, but he does have those club options, $11.5 million for 2020 with a $2 million buyout. Leonis Martin, age 32. Cameron Maben, age 33. And Chris Owings, age 28. Obviously, Starling Marte is on that list, and whether he is dealt or still with the Bucks, his option will be picked up. Outside of Marte, there is not one player on that list that a team would deem to be impactful. The list is full of platoon players and aging veterans. If there is a team looking to upgrade their center fielder situation, they will not have much luck on their current projected free agent market. Even in left field, where Marte has proven to be better defensively, has a weak market outside of Marcell Ozuna and JD Martinez, who projects much better as a DH. The fact is, the Pittsburgh Pirates are a small market team that will always operate in small market ways. Starling Marte's value as a player may never be higher as it is right now. He is having a career year and is on a very friendly contract. Furthermore, with such a weak free agent class, the Bucks may be able to get a big-time package back to make it worth it. Just like Vasquez, the Bucks do not have to trade Marte, but likely will if the return is right. This offseason, the return will likely be there, and Neil Huntington needs to make that move. The Pittsburgh Pirates are playing the worst baseball they have ever played in the Clint Hurdle era, and there is not much to be excited about. However, there might be something to watch next week. The Pittsburgh Pirates are on pace to have one of the worst second halves of a season in the modern era. The only real positives in the second half have been Bryan Reynolds and Starling Marte. These two have carried the team as much as they can, but two hitters cannot dictate a team's fate over a large stretch of time. The team is a mess, and Clint Hurdle is likely on the hot seat. The Bucks have had multiple top prospects come up over the years to see them never reach their potential or for them to flourish elsewhere, i.e. Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton. When looking at the overall team, the roster just seems to lack any significant talent outside of Marte, Reynolds, and Kevin Newman. That apparently is going to change as soon as next week. Finally, it sounds like the Pittsburgh Pirates are recalling their top pitching prospect in Mitch Keller. Jason Mackey of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette tweeted that it seems likely Keller will make his start He will make his start on Monday, according to Clint Hurdle. The Bucs starting rotation has been horrible and, quite frankly, could use a boost. Beyond that, the team is not in the playoff picture, and Keller needs to be promoted to show that he belongs in the team's plans for the 2020 season. Yes, his first few starts at the big league level were tough, but he has also showed improvement in each one. Furthermore, Keller has traditionally struggled at every level after being promoted. If nothing else, Mitch Keller can give Pittsburgh Pirates fans a reason to watch them the rest of the season. The team is likely going to have the second worst record in the National League. What do they have to lose? If anything, Keller comes up and learns how to pitch in the big leagues now, so he's ready for more success next year. The Pittsburgh Pirates need to call Mitch Keller up for the start on Monday and give him a chance, which they will be doing according to manager Clint Hurdle. He will be starting Monday night in Los Angeles as the team travels to Anaheim to take on the Angels. And there's really nothing to lose in the situation of giving Mitch Keller the start. He has historically struggled at each new level that he has been called up to. But at each level that he has been called up to, once he gets his feet wet and his feet set under him, he has been the dominant pitcher and one of the reasons why he's one of the top prospects in all of baseball. And Mitch Keller needs to be here, and even if he does take a couple beatings down the stretch in 2019, what do they have to lose? We're going to finish with the second worst record in the National League, just ahead of the Miami Marlins, and we're not in the playoff picture. This is the worst baseball ever in the Clint Hurdle era, sitting currently at 19 games under 500. It has never been this bad under manager Clint Hurdle. And too often has top tier prospects come in and